Hello, welcome back to Petrolblog's rubbish YouTube channel. Hope you're well. I've been literally inundated with one request for an update on this, the 406 Coupé. By the way, if you can hear cowbells, do not adjust your set. You haven't been transported to Austria. That isn't the sound of music, that is the sound of goat bells. I have fed them much hay, so they shouldn't be too much of a distraction. Not that goats are ever a needless distraction. I haven't watched the last episode of Severance yet, talking of goats, but anyway, I'm definitely digressing. So yeah, this is in response to a request from Patrick. Hello Patrick, I think you commented on the Peugeot video last night, maybe the day before, looking for an update, and you're absolutely right, it's been too long. I think 9 months. Could have had a baby in that time. There is really good news. There's a lot of good news in this video. There's also a bit of bad news in the video, which we'll come on to. Viewers of a nervous disposition may wish to go and watch something else now. I don't know. Maybe some reruns of Richard Hammond on Men and Motors. Don't know. Anyway, you're still here. Hello. Patrick, the good news is it's got an MOT. Not only that, it went through first time. Now, if you cast your mind back to 9 months ago, I had a miserable failure on the green Safran, which decided to dump all of its coolant on the floor at the MOT testing bay after I spent probably 3 days detailing the damn thing. So I promised myself this time around I would do the minimum amount as possible and do an exploratory MOT. So I took a day off. It was a nice sunny day. I took a day off work, which is rare, and just spent the day cleaning this. Yeah, just basically did some work on it a day before the MOT, and I thought, look, send it in, have a list of things to do, and go from there. And what the best thing, do you know what? It's beautiful, isn't it? I could just take up the next 10 minutes just looking at that with some Tony Hart style hold music, just to look at it, with the sound of cowbells in the background. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Anyway, it's beautiful. Let me stand up. I'm actually sat on 3 wheels from a Volvo 144. Bit of a preview for another video coming up very soon, or 9 months' time. Let's go for a wander. So I took the view that let's not spend any money on this car. Car cost me 300 quid, and then I think it was roughly the same, maybe a bit less, to get the car down from Warrington. I put a link to Amy's delivery company. I've used Amy now 4 times to deliver cars. Every time she goes above and beyond. She's brilliant. Honestly, I wouldn't go to anyone else. Doesn't mean you can put your prices up just for me, Amy, but hey, you are now my go-to collection and delivery service. So yeah, what I did, I spent no money. So the tyres, the Falcon tyres, they were taken off the silver one. So I just took the wheels and tyres off because the tyres are brand new, well, 100 and 200 miles on them. So took them off. I took the battery from the silver one, and I even took the wipers from the silver one because they were completely shot. I mean, obviously the arms aren't much better, but that's an easy fix. So in terms of money spent to get it for the MOT, £49.50, just the test fee. It went straight through, and if you remember the heartache I experienced with the silver one, that is quite remarkable, as David Coleman would say. It went straight through. So when he phoned me with the good news, I was quite taken aback, and he was full of praise for the car. He couldn't believe how clean it is underneath. And I think that's the difference between storing a car outside in the northwest of England or on the Devon-Somerset border. If you remember, the silver one shared a space with a Leylandii bush, which was slowly consuming it, like something of day out with the Triffids. That would be a much more palatable, like Enid Blyton's Day Out with the Triffids. No, it was Day of the Triffids. Day Out with the Triffids. 5 Go Mad in Brighton. I don't know. Yes, it went straight through. Unbelievable, Jeff. And look at it. It is amazing, and I've got some dates written down here because I wanted to sort of give you a detailed, well, not detailed, I don't do detailed. I waffle, but I don't do detailed. So this car was registered in March 2000. So it's 25 years old this month. Doesn't it look good? The MOT expired in May 2017. So it was off the road for at least 7 years, maybe as much as 8. Sat outside in Warrington while the previous owner concentrated on his Jags. I think it did really well. I mean, that was a result. And I think I'm downplaying it a lot. It was a heck of a result. And annoyingly, well, not annoyingly, by the way, firstly, hats off to Kenny Smith and John the Wall for finding this car and doing all the due diligence before it arrived here. I really appreciate it. But John, the former owner, actually commented on this, one of my videos. I'll put this up on the screen, but basically he bought it at 3 years old with 30,000 miles on the clock, and it was his daily driver until 2018 when he swapped it for a Jaguar F-Type. And he just goes on to say that no expense spared, Michelin tyres, and basically he's done the cam belt I think 3 times in its time. He loved it, sad to see it go, but he just wants to concentrate on his XJ Coupé, which is fair enough. And the Peugeot dealer resprayed the bonnet and the front wing, and I'm guessing the front bumper, it had to be, isn't it, at the same time, and not a particularly good job. It probably was at the time, but it hasn't lasted very well. But I wasn't going to do anything on the bodywork until we knew how good or otherwise the car was. Now I'm in a position where I probably need to spend some money on the cosmetics. So as you can see, the bonnet has completely shot. I mean, I could try and find an Ariane Blue bonnet, but that wouldn't solve this problem. It's got the usual cracks in the bonnet. I'm sorry, in the bumper. One there, another one there. So I'm guessing maybe that is the original bumper. Oh, by the way, I've put on from some new period style number plates which have transformed it, I think, personally. You may disagree, and that's your right. Weirdly, we do wonder, and I say we because Matt, my friend, has helped get this car back on the road. Hello Matt, big thumbs up to you. We do wonder if this whole inside side has been blown over at some point, because weirdly it looks like it's had some sort of tape all the way along here, and if you can see that, and that runs down the edge of the boot lid as well. By the way, flying buttresses. Oh, look at that. Just look at that. And the rear bumper has got the usual cracks. He's had some repair done on this as well. But, you know, in some angles you can't even tell. And I think personally, my favourite angle is that. I just think that's perfection. Since it's come back from the MOT, it's just been basic servicing. Nothing like you would expect after 7 years. All the brakes are in good nick. They are now. And the brake discs were given an advisory, but obviously once you start using them, they've been fine. Oils, filters, belts, you name it, it's had it since. Obviously, this is now 6 months ago, is it? Since the MOT, it's had a new rear hub, which transformed it. That was very noisy, but that's all that's been spent on it, which is remarkable. And I apologies, I haven't got your name, but somebody commented on the channel, on the video, saying that this is quite a bit of a crossover model, quite a rare one. Let me just take the keys out, because it's a later 210 brake horsepower engine, but it's got the earlier perforated leather seats. Doesn't make it any more valuable, any more desirable. It's just a bit of a quirk, really, I suppose, a bit of a crossover car. What else? I mean, the interior is dull, isn't it? It is quite dull, and that's what it's criticised for when it was new. I don't know why they didn't do like a Fiat Coupe and have these the same colour as the outside. That would have been a nice touch, or maybe that's just me. Gear knob's a little bit loose still. I like to get just a Ford Puma style or Honda Accord Type R style gear knob for that. Yeah, the starter motor drags a little bit. I think that'll get better through use. And the only radio station you can get is Greatest Hits. turn it off before I get struck off. These struts have gone, so it won't hold up. So I have to stand here now looking elegant. While I'm here under the bonnet, doing my best to hold it up with my elbow or even shoulder. My anatomy isn't my strong point. Big thanks to Gareth at GS Yuasa for the kind donation of the battery. Big thumbs up to you for keeping French Tat alive. Thank you. Because when I bought it, it was running, I would say, sluggish. Quite underwhelming, the power. It felt like it was only running at sort of, I don't know, 150 bhp. Turns out, thanks to Matt for noticing this, it was missing a clip on the throttle cable. He's now put that in as a kind of a temporary fix, but it has transformed it. It has transformed the car. It's unbelievably quick now. So for anyone who actually commented on a video and said you really need a manual, you were right. Manual all the way. It's fabulous. This is a fabulous car. It's a fabulous Grand Tourer, and doesn't it look amazing? Even in this semi-ropey condition. Hello, goats. So what are the plans? Well, obviously bodywork. That's important. One of the other things that's happened over the last week or two, and this is a disaster. I mean, this is time to call it quits and cancel my YouTube channel. Only one of the fog lights is working. That's a disaster. Need to sort that out. Obviously, paint the wiper arms. The rear speakers are shot. I guess they all do that after time, so I need some new rear speakers. Then Lano Guard the hell out of the underneath, although someone said to me the other day that Lano Guard isn't the best choice. Someone said Lano Guard isn't the best choice, so if you have an alternative view on that, let me know. I'm all ears. And also, probably at some point, a new exhaust. Not because the tip's getting rusty, but it is quite quiet. And I think that was kind of purposely done for the Grand Tourer vibe. But it's a lovely sounding engine. I really want to make most of it. So at some point I will upgrade the exhaust. Not a priority at the moment. One thing I will say, remember this? The oil filter of doom on the silver one. Keeping that forever. This one came off within, well, 5 seconds. Came off as it should do. So, and that brings me on to the silver one, because with hindsight, we went through a lot of pain, myself, my oldest son, and Adam White, to get that car on the road. It wasn't a pup, but it wasn't the best. I don't think the 2 or 3 years outside in Exmoor had done it any good. And I have to say, and I really don't want to admit this, but I'm going to have to be honest and say it is no more. The silver one has gone to the great Peugeot scrapyard in the sky. And I do feel bad about it, and Matt and I talked about it at length. But actually, I think it's important to bear in mind that this blue one only arrived here as a donor vehicle for its gearbox. And it turned out that this was the better of the two, and a lot less hassle. The transmission had gone, completely shot. I could only drive it in limp mode. It was overheating, and all the electrics were slowly giving up the ghost. But there we go. We did it. And belatedly, I'm telling you, Sir Patrick, I hope that helps. It's good to be back. Did you hear the green woodpecker? I think I have a lot in common with the green woodpecker, because I disappear for the whole of the winter and then come back in March. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon.